This is KCRA 3 Reports at 5 in high definition, where the news comes first.
Commitment 2010, and protesters are marching in Sacramento right now to send a message to Republican candidate for governor Meg Whitman.
KCRA 3's Damani Lewis live in Sacramento. So what are they protesting about?
Well, Walt, these protesters started lining the streets a short time ago. Many of them are with the California Labor Federation, which represents over 2 million members in both the public and the private sector. Many of them are protesting Meg Whitman's campaign and her policies. Now, Whitman is holding a private fundraiser here in downtown Sacramento this evening. Now, joining me is Steve Smith, spokesperson with the California Labor Federation. Now, you described, your organization describes this as a hostile corporate takeover of California about Meg Whitman. Why is that?
Meg Whitman has already spent more than $100 million to buy this election and impose her corporate agenda on workers in California. And what that means for workers is more job cuts, more outsourcing, and more perks and benefits for CEOs and the very wealthy. That's not what this state needs right now.
You plan on protesting throughout tonight's fundraiser?
We will be here throughout tonight's fundraiser to make sure the other side of the story is being told.
All right, and then to get to the other side of this, as far as Meg Whitman's side, we spoke with members of our organization and our campaign, and here's what they have to say about today's protests.
The thing that's important to understand about the unions, especially the public employee unions, is they want status quo. They don't want anything to change. We are on the brink of having to finally probably employ some pension reforms, maybe reduce payrolls, because the state simply cannot pay for what we used to have. We don't have the money anymore.
And as far as Meg Whitman's fundraiser tonight, we're told it's at 6 o'clock. It's a private reception that she's holding here. No word on how many people will be in attendance, but as you heard, these protesters will be out here for the duration of that fundraiser. For now, we're live in downtown Sacramento tonight. Damani Lewis, KCRA 3 Reports.
And a reminder, KCRA will be the only local station bringing you 2 debates between Democrat Jerry Brown and the Republican Meg Whitman. The first one will be a live one at UC Davis, September 28th. We'll air a second live debate, October 12th. Moderated by Tom Brokaw.
Fox 40 News at 5:30 begins right now.
Republican candidate for governor Meg Whitman is in Sacramento for a fundraiser. People willing to pay $25,000 a plate are there, and so are protesters. Rowena Shaddix is live at 11th and J Streets, where this fundraiser is being held. Row, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Donna, we're just across the street where this fundraiser will be taking place. And as you can see, there's about 75 to 100 protesters. Now, lots of these people are union members. There are electricians out here, plumbers, people from the fire department, and state union people as well. We did have an opportunity to talk with both sides.
The state is in the worst economic climate that has ever been. But we think there are ways that we can get through those together. I know in my local community, we have suffered pretty substantial cuts. We've lost 40 firefighter positions.
What she's not doing is coming out to work sites and talking to small business owners and talking to folks who are really struggling in this economy.
We have public pensions that are out of control, that need real reform, needs to come back down in line with what the reality is in the private sector. So a lot of those unions that are protesting out here tonight don't want that golden goose to go away.
Now, Meg Whitman's people said this isn't really about $25,000 a plate. They're not serving some big fancy meal. It is a fundraiser. But I know that you were wondering, Donna and Jaime, for $25,000, it's chicken.
All right, thanks so much.
Street Whitman's got to go. Hey, hey. Go home.
While Meg Whitman raises money to become the next governor of California, people protest the former eBay CEO outside. The crowd gathered in downtown Sacramento late this afternoon. About 100 protesters showed up. Union-organized teachers, nurses, and firefighters, all clearly voicing their opinion about California's Republican candidate for governor.
So we're out here today protesting the Meg Whitman fundraiser. Kind of an oxymoron, Meg Whitman having a fundraiser, but we're here today to try and show people that ourselves, the firefighters, along with other working families, teachers, and nurses, are out here supporting Jerry Brown.
And it is worth noting unions across the state are some of Jerry Brown, who is the Democratic opponent, his biggest campaign supporters. And Democrat Senator Barbara Boxer defending her party's big spending approach to tackling the recession, even though the latest economic numbers show anything but recovery. During an interview today, Boxer said voters understand the economy began tanking under the Bush administration. She added her opponent, Carly Fiorina, represents a return to Bush-era policies.
Right now on News 10, got 25 grand to see Meg Whitman?
She's trying to buy her position.
Anger spilling onto the streets over her campaign coffers.
We're not for sale. We want to make sure that the other side of the story is being told.
Why Whitman says her way of fundraising is best.
Connecting with our community. From the Information Center, this is News 10 at 11.
The judge who overturned Proposition 8 is ready to rule on whether gay marriages should resume again. Good evening, I'm Dale Shornack.
I'm Christina Mendonça. We'll get to that story in a moment. But first tonight, it is a pricey ticket to see candidate for governor Meg Whitman, but nearly 24 people paid $25,000 each for her fundraiser in Sacramento tonight.
Dozens of others, many of them union members, gathered outside the Elks Lodge on J Street, protesting the billionaire and her proposals. News 10's Suzanne Fon shows us why they turned out.
They're not shy about voicing their concerns about candidate for governor Meg Whitman.
She's trying to buy her position. Doesn't matter how much money she's got, we will not back her.
Outside the Elks building on 11th and J Street in downtown Sacramento, demonstrators chanted, carried their signs, and denounced the billionaire.
She wants to cut 40,000 jobs right off the top in California. She wants to eliminate overtime pay for workers.
Meg Whitman believes that through better technology, through streamlining government, we can do the same amount of work but much more efficiently for the people of California.
As people protested outside, Meg Whitman supporters headed inside for a $25K per plate fundraiser. Many protesters Wednesday night were union members. Some of them were firefighters. Their concern?
If Meg Whitman gets elected to governor, there'll be a tax on wages, pensions, health benefits.
In response to the protest, Whitman's spokesman, Darrell Ng, said,
unlike Jerry Brown, who has been bought and paid for with millions of dollars of union ad money, they know that when Meg Whitman gets here, she won't owe anybody anything.
In Sacramento, Suzanne Fon,